welcome back to Simply Avalon. Today I have a first day of school vlog video for you guys, just in case you wanted to know just like how my first day of school went. If you are from my school, yes, I know this was not the outfit that I wore to my first day of school. This is actually Sunday the 14th. So this is more of like a mixture of my first, second, and third day of school, and I'm just going to tell you guys all about it. Sorry in advance if this is kind of a longish video, but I wanted to just not leave any details out. And without further ado, let's just get started. Started school on, I'm looking down at my laptop. I started school on Wednesday, the 10th of August. So I started school on Wednesday, and I actually have a school that does not necessarily a block schedule, but kind of a block schedule. So we change classes every day. My first class on Monday is not going to be the same class that I start off on Wednesday. Firstly, let me just tell you all my classes. I take Algebra 2 of Trig, Arts 1, I can't see, Chemistry, English 10, Honors, German 2, Health, and History, American History, and then also, technically speaking, Speech. But I'll get into that later once I talk about Health. So my Wednesday schedule was actually German 2. So, well, it started off with German 2. So before I even get into that, I walked into the school. It was kind of crazy because since I go to a private school, it's a little bit different. But they kind of made our locker assignments really weird this year. Usually like a locker pods, I'll try and have a picture over here. We have different locker pods for different grades. Like last year we had 2 locker pods at the very front for 9th grade, then locker pods for 10th grade, then the last 2 for 11th grade, and then the tall lockers are for the seniors. Good, right? This year they kind of put 9th grade in their usual locker pods, and then everyone else was mixed throughout. So you had some 11th graders with senior lockers, you had some 10th graders with 11th grade lockers. It was a mess. So I ended up being like one of 3 people in 11th grade locker pod. So I had like a giant struggle trying to like open up my locker because there's this person who has a top locker above me, and they like to talk to a lot of people, and I have a bottom locker again, so that was a little bit of an awkward conversation, but we got through it. I found out I couldn't even jam my locker, at least on the first day, because someone decided to put gum in that area, and that was disgusting, but I managed to actually get to my first class on time. Yeah. So I had German first, and I'm actually in German 2, so I took German 1 last year, but we're still trying to finish the first textbook, kind of like as you would expect. So it's more like a German 1 and beginning of German 2 class, if that makes sense. Then I had Health. Now, let me go back to German. We only had like the first 5 minutes of class, right? And then we actually went into assembly. So we all had to go into the gym, and our headmaster, I'm not going to say his name, but he just went on for like an hour and a half-ish, just talking about new students, the new policies, dress code, everything that there is to talk about school. That's what he talked about, okay? And yeah, it was kind of boring, but it's okay. It's okay. I was a new student last year, and it interested me, but now I kind of know how this is. So we ended up missing all of German and most of Health. So I didn't even really get to meet my health teacher on the first day of school, but it's okay, it's okay. I got to see her the next day. So we ended up having a 25-minute break. So usually our break is 15 minutes, but he was like, okay, you guys have like no time left in your second class. There's no point in you guys going. Just go ahead and head over to break. Which was great because it meant we got to talk with our friends for the first day of school. So I was super happy with it. But it also meant that he decided that during flex period we would head back to our German class. So that was interesting. I'll talk about flex in a second. So the next class that I headed to was English, and I'm the type of person, I really like English, but I feel like after 6th grade, that's like all you learn in English class. You just learn same metaphor, simile, hyperbole, allegory, all that kind of stuff. It started to be meaningless to me. So I won't say that it was like the same old, but it was definitely interesting because we actually got to analyze song lyrics. So I was like, something new. Haven't seen a teacher do that yet, but we'll see. I'll update you guys about my English class later. So the next class that I had was Algebra 2 with Trig. Now this is the class that I was dreading all day, to be totally honest. If you're my teacher, I'm sorry, but there are two teachers that you could have had. We're just going to say Miss Samantha and Mr. Sam, okay? Everyone wanted Mr. Sam because he was supposed to be the easier person to have the class with. Whereas nobody wanted Miss Samantha because even my friends from last year were saying that she just did not teach. And even when she did teach, she made the class really, really hard by giving them homework every single day. And everyone was just like, you don't want Miss Samantha. So you already know which teacher I ended up getting, Miss Samantha. So I've been hearing all of the rumors about her class, and I've just been like, ugh. Turns out she's actually a really nice person, and yes, she gave us homework, but she actually told us why. And it really reminds me of my 8th grade algebra class because he was very much the same type of way, although I loved him. He was like, there's no point in me not giving you guys homework over the weekends and type thing because school, well, not necessarily school, but math doesn't stop over the weekend. You still need to practice and just not forget because it doesn't help you guys if you don't remember for Monday because I didn't give you homework, that type of thing. So I actually really enjoyed her class. It was just a review for most of it. It was just like x plus 2x equals 9. So what does x equal? X equals 3, that type of thing. So it was really, really easy to me. And then after that, I had history. So I'm not sure if I've ever told you guys this, but my last history class, it wasn't a joke because I actually really, really loved that teacher and I actually want him again. But our class was totally horrible. Think of like the very worst class that you've ever had and multiply it by 10. Like we literally made it literally the worst possible thing for our teacher, and I felt so bad about it. Kettlewell, if you hear this, I'm so sorry about our class, okay? I'm sorry for all of us because we were literally held to him. I'm sorry for using that word, but we were. And I feel like we probably made him rethink his teaching choice just because of how bad we were. Anyway, now we are in our new history class, and I'm just expecting the worst because it's a lot of the same people, although it's a mix of like his good class, but it's a lot of the same people. But it turned out to be okay because apparently they like this teacher, but he's going to be much harder, I feel like, than my old history teacher. But I really want my old history teacher back, if that makes sense. I don't know. We'll see how history will go. All we basically talked about was different perspectives in history, and one person actually stole the answer that I said on the first day of school last year, and it really annoyed me, but you know, I don't even know at this point. So after history, we finally have lunch because we have lunch at 1 o'clock, and that's kind of annoying, but take it as it is. And this day we were on Flex 1, which I'll explain Flex now. So Flex is a type of thing where it's like, okay, if it says Flex 1, that means you're gonna have Flex or homeroom first. And it's just like a study hall for like 25 minutes. If you have Flex second, it means you're gonna have your G period class first, and then you're gonna have Flex at the end of the day, and after Flex, you go home. Actually, it was Flex second, okay? So our lunchroom was really messed up because they finally decided, okay, we're gonna do swipe cards now instead of actually handing the person actual paper money. So the lines were like horrendous. I didn't even stay in the line. I brought my lunch to school because I always do that. But no one really got to eat until like the last 5 minutes of lunch. So we don't really have a bell for lunch, like saying that the lunch has ended. But I just kind of like follow the crowd. Okay, once everyone else stands up, I'm gonna stand up and leave. I know that's not the best thing, but like no one knows actually when lunch is supposed to quote unquote finish. So I ended up coming to my art class probably around 10 minutes late, which was, I felt so bad about this. It was me and this other guy who's in 11th grade because he actually had an excuse, which was he had to clean up the lunchroom. Well, no it wasn't. That's the second day of school. I did not have an excuse. On the first day of school, I did have an excuse. We actually had to go back to our German class, I already told you guys that, for Flex, and it was Flex 1. I'm sorry, I can't think right now. And we were helping out the first graders by giving them Schultüte, which is basically like this sugar cone filled with just candy. A cone, think of a paper cone filled with candy. Really, really fun thing. We took pictures. It was nice, except she released us 5 minutes late for class, meaning that when I went to my art class, I was totally late for the first day of class. He does not like late people. So I was really, really embarrassed because everyone else was sitting down in their class. It was perfectly fine for them, but of course I had to be late. And you have to sign in too at the very front. He has a desk where you have to sign in your name. And I'm just like, ugh, it was like the walk of shame, I kid you not, because he's trying to like teach you how to draw three-dimensional figures. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, I'm late. And it was really, really awkward. But that was my first day of school. So as you've probably realized, I have like no breaks in between for my school day, which is really, really different from last year's, where I actually had a journalism class, which once you're finished with all your journalism work, you have a free period. So I don't know how this school year is going to be. It's going to be really busy, but I'm going to keep on making videos. And then also to explain my having health and speech, since I didn't have speech class today, obviously. And I take health for the first semester and then speech for the second semester. So it should be fun-ish. Kind of wanted that swapped, but you know what? We'll take it as it is. Because I really like health this year. So that was my first day of school. And then the second day of school was pretty much the exact same thing, other than we missed our first 2 classes again because of drug testing. My school does that randomly throughout the year. So we had drug testing and we had to go to break early again. So I missed German and chemistry that day, which I was really scared for chemistry because she's known, my chemistry teacher, because she's known as like a really, really strict person. But that was interesting. Then I actually had my first health class, which was really nice because I met this really, really cool girl in that class who's actually from Germany, and it was her, I guess you would say, second day of school. So there was that. And then I came 10 minutes late to art class, highlight of the day. I totally didn't mean to do that, but lunch ended late, so I'm sorry. And then Friday I got to my art class 10 minutes early. So we're still having a little bit of problems with that getting to art class on time thing, but we'll figure something out. I think I'm just going to set myself like an alarm on my phone just to remind myself to actually leave lunch. But I don't know. So that was like a really long video of just what happened my first, second, and third day of school, but that's all that happened. It wasn't really interesting per se, although like there was not a lot of drama, but there was a lot of stuff that like went on over the summer that I knew nothing about. And I'm actually deciding that I'm going to join the cross-country team. You guys know that I play soccer, but I was like, you know what? I'd like to jog also. Might as well do cross-country. And they have the shortest season possible. Like it starts in September and ends in October. I mean, I don't know. It felt like a no-brainer to me, especially since he's really lenient about coming to practices and stuff. So, and since I have you guys and whatnot, I should be able to do it. And I'm also doing journalism club and, well, not journalism club. I'm doing the newspaper again, even though I'm not in the actual journalism class. Then I'm also doing key club. I may do Peter Pan. We're having like a play. I'm not sure about that. Not sure if I'm going to have time to actually come to practices and stuff, but going to be doing a lot of stuff. So that's all that I have for my first 3 days of school. This is actually going to be my first full week of school this coming week, even though this video is going to come out like 2 weeks later. And I'm also going to go ahead and put a quick disclaimer. Yes, I am going to show you guys my back to school outfits of the week, but it rained every single day of that week, so some of them are going to be slightly different. This is just like a disclaimer for people who are watching this from my school. So yeah, that's all there is to say. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye!